Hey, I'm Carla from Roadtrip Nation, and if you're obsessed with fashion, we've got 5 fabulous job ideas for you. Of course, becoming a designer is like joining the major league of fashion. It's the dream job, and you have to have tons of talent and an incredible work ethic to make it. But we're starting here because there's also a low barrier to entry. You can start designing, making, wearing, and photographing your own clothes today. And if you're someone who's just now thinking about pursuing design, you'll have the opportunity to change the landscape for the better and build a more sustainable future of fashion, just like sustainable designer Amy Young.
I was designing for big fast fashion corporations. I'm not going to name the brands, but I've been to the factories. I know how things are made. It was a big change in the way I thought when I had a child, when I thought, oh my gosh, I'm putting microplastics into the water. I'm putting toxic chemicals into the clothes for dyeing. And I'm doing these in countries where we take advantage of families and communities. So I just felt like, to be true to myself, I had to shift that. So I actually jumped ship, left my corporate job, and started what was at that time a sustainable consulting company. Then I started Arinda Tribe. We do upcycled textiles, we do small batch production, we do a lot of indigenous made product. And with me moving back to New Mexico, I've actually reconnected with my ancestral lands. It was a coming home. It was finding where I'm supposed to be.
Ever wonder who's behind all of the fabulous outfits you see in TV, film, and theater? There's a whole wardrobe department making it happen. Within the wardrobe team, the supervisor has a unique role. They don't necessarily design all the clothes, but they're in charge of buying the extra pieces or accessories, making sure outfit changes happen smoothly, and even repairing costumes if they rip or tear. To learn how to break into this career, we talked to the wardrobe supervisor for a very unique production.
I'm Nancy Feldman, and I am the wardrobe and makeup supervisor for Blue Man Group at Universal Orlando. I have done theater and been involved in theater from the time I was very, very tiny, and I thought I wanted to be a performer. And so I ended up going to Northwestern for theater. When I wasn't on stage, I would dress the shows, and I loved it. And I thought, this is actually really fun. And so toward the end of college, I started doing more costuming. And after I graduated, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I thought, I don't actually know. Do I want to go into wardrobe? Do I want to go into fashion? I just don't know. And so I found a program at Parsons in New York, and I got an AAS in fashion studies, and started working in television and Broadway. I walked the entire theater district and handed my resume out. It was terrifying because, what if somebody judges me? I just did it. I just said, okay, I can do this. and I went, and I would just knock on the stage door, and I would talk to the doorman, and I would say, I would like to drop off this resume. And I would drop off the resume, and I would follow up with phone call. You have to look for your own opportunity. No one is gonna hand it to you.
Working in retail is a great way to break into the fashion industry. And while you may think of a retail job as a short-term commitment, there are actually a lot of opportunities to move up and grow in retail. From managing inventory to styling your storefront, working in retail management can give you a behind-the-scenes look at how clothes gets to the consumer.
My name is Chano Magana, and I'm the Senior Director for the Fossil Full Price Stores. One of the things my parents always taught me was to always take pride in your work, regardless if it's cleaning toilets. So even though I was working just at the mall, I still took a lot of pride in work in being a holiday cashier, and eventually they kept me on. It ended up being something I fell in love with, and 27 years later, I'm still here. If you wake up on a Monday morning, whether it's to go to school or to go to work, and you just feel excited, that's success to me.
Okay, this is a cool one. If you love fashion, but you're also into coding and tech, did you know you could blend those interests? Textile Designer Leah Buckley is doing just that, using electrical engineering and computer science to work in a whole new realm of fashion.
I'm a designer and an engineer, and my work has really focused on blending electronics and computing with art and design. So for example, I've done a lot of work in combining textiles and fashion with electronics and computer science. So I developed a kit called LilyPad Arduino that lets you sew electronics into your clothes. I've experimented and developed a bunch of different ways to kind of sketch or draw electronic circuits that you can then program to make them interactive.
For lots of us, it's important that our career makes a difference. But fashion can feel kind of frivolous. Is it really possible to make a change through a fashion career? The answer is yes. You can use your love for fashion to accomplish almost anything. You just have to get creative, like nonprofit founder Blythe Hill.
My name is Blythe Hill, and I started this nonprofit that I now manage called the Dressenburg Foundation. It started as a style challenge. When I was at Fullerton, actually, I just felt like completely buried in books and academia, and so just felt really stifled for some sort of creative outlet, and was like, well, I have to get dressed every day, so maybe that's my opportunity to be creative. And decided to try wearing only dresses for a month, and I happened to have the idea in November, and so I was like, okay, I'll wear only dresses in December, and then thought of Dressember. It was never something that I was like, I'll do this every year for the rest of my life. It was just like, this is a one-time thing. This is just totally fun and creative. And then the next year, some of my friends wanted to join in. And then the next year, their friends wanted to join in. And I was like, wait a minute, there's something here. People like this. When Dressember was growing, I was like, well, maybe I could turn this into a fundraiser or some sort of campaign to raise awareness for this issue that I care so much about. Picked an organization that I really respect. It's International Justice Mission. And so I set what felt like a huge, ambitious goal to raise $25,000, and we raised that in 3 days. And then we raised $165,000 in that month. I was like, oh, this is a much better idea than I realized. And so then I started taking the steps to make it a 501c3.
These are all Dressember's dresses. So who designs them?
They're designed by different women. We had a survivor trafficking design one. We did like an advocate design challenge. So our fundraisers sent in their designs, and then we chose like our favorite 3, I think, and then let everyone vote. And then they're made by survivors of trafficking in Nepal.
Beautiful.
Hopefully these 5 different career ideas have shown you that it's possible to use your unique interests and talents to blaze a fashion-forward path that's all your own. If you like this video, which I know you did, make sure to give it a like and follow our YouTube channel. Also, you can leave a comment in the comment section to let us know what other kinds of jobs we should cover next. All right, see you later. Whew, I think that was a good one.